So today's topic is going to be really, really helpful, useful, and probably you will know that why were you studying this topic at the first place as an electronic student. You must be having these doubts in your mind that why are you studying these topics at the first place. So today I hope that you will get that answer at the end of the lecture. We'll discuss about it. Okay. So today's topic is plane waves in non-conducting media. So today's topic about is about plane waves in non-conducting media. Now, what is non-conducting media? What are your thoughts? Okay, let me just make sure that you know these two, both of these words. What is a plane wave and what is a non-conducting media? Okay, your inputs. It can be correct. It can be not. It can be wrong. Whatever. You just give me inputs. What do you think when you listen to this word, non-conducting media? What comes into your mind? Come on, yeah, you guys can do this. Waiting for the response. What do you understand by non-conducting? Just let us break it down into two parts. Non-conducting. Oh, you can. You are electronic students. You can know. You can just define it in good language. What is non-conducting?
Sir,
Oh,
not able to conduct heat is called not conduct.
not able to conduct heat. Okay. Second.
Or electricity.
Or electricity, yes. So there are two ways of conduction, heat or electricity. We will be focusing ourselves on electric conduction. So non-conducting media means all the mediums which are not conducting electricity. So all the mediums which are having their conductivity equal to zero or very small. Sigma is very small. We are assuming that it is zero, but it is very small. So conductivity for non-conducting media is very small. All the mediums which has this small conductivity are known as non-conducting media. Now let us talk about plane waves. What are your thoughts on plane waves? Let us break it down into two parts. What is wave? What is your understanding of waves? What is a wave?
Sir, don't have the exact idea, but sir, I can try. Sir,
Yes, definitely.
a plane perpendicular to the direction of propagation have the same value for the wave wave magnitude, sir.
Okay. A plane. You can try it in other language maybe where you can put the
Sir,
words. Uh,
wave
Sir,
na
a disturbance
propagation
that travels through a medium.
wave means disturbance that travels through a medium and carries some energy with it. Yes, not always carries some energy, but a disturbance not always traveling through the medium. Disturbance in a medium is generally termed as wave because standing waves do not travel. So
Yes.
these are the type of waves which do not travel. But yes, your definition is quite correct. The disturbance that travels in a medium. This is what we learned in the first place in 11, 12 standard. So disturbance that travels through a medium carrying energy, but standing waves do not follow this. Still, they are waves. But we can keep that as an exception, as chemistry students do that. Some exceptions are there always. But yes, disturbance that travels through a medium. Yes, you were telling something. Who was other?
સર જે
Uh,
ડિસ્ટર્બન્સ ટ્રાવેલ થાય છે સર એમનું મેગ્નિટ્યુડ પ્લેન પરપેન્ડિક્યુલર ટુ ધ ડાયરેક્શન ઓફ પ્રોપોગેશનમાં સર કોન્સ્ટન્ટ હશે સર.
oh, wonderful definition. Yes, this is a correct definition of a plane wave. So the disturbance which is traveling through the medium, can I say कि એમનું magnitude એટલે શેનું magnitude? So can I say that the magnitude of displacement is same in a plane perpendicular to it? So
યસ સર.
just like a sine wave. So a sine wave, if it is traveling, if it is a traveling wave, you just shake a rope and create this kind of sine waves. You have a rope or a string and you just shake the string and you can generate these kind of sine waves. Now you can take a plane which is perpendicular to the plane of paper. So it is like this. The plane is like this. So you can take this plane and now this plane is also moving with the sine wave. If this plane is also moving with the sine wave, then the magnitude of displacement from the mean position, this is the mean position, and magnitude of the displacement is always constant on this plane. These kind of waves are known as plane waves. So sinusoidal wave is one example of a plane wave. There is another example of a plane wave. What is it? Cosinusoidal wave. This both these guys look same. They just have some phase difference between them. So cosinusoidal wave or sinusoidal wave, both are plane waves. They are example of plane waves, but in more technical terms. If I want to define plane wave, it means the wave whose wavefront is plane. So the wave whose wavefront is plane is known as plane wave. So what do you mean by wavefront? Do you have any vague idea about the wavefront? You studied it in your 12th standard. If I have to say it in Gujarati, it is I don't know, I forgot it. But wavefront means all the points which have same phase. That is known as wavefront. So do you have any idea about what is a wavefront?
Yes, sir. The different types of wavefronts like cylindrical and
Yes.
also spherical
Yes.
wavefronts.
So if you have a point source, let us say a point source of light, let us say a point source of light, a small bulb, then its wavefront will be how will it be wavefront? How will the wavefront be? It is throwing light in all the directions. If you have a point source of light, then its wavefront will be spherical wavefront. If you have a point source of light, because all these points which are at the same distance from this point source will be oscillating in the same phase, so this is known as wavefront. Now this can also be known as wavefront for different phase. This can also be known as wavefront for another different phase. So wavefront for different phases can be written like this. Now if you have a tube light, just as in old homes, I still have it in my room. So this kind of tube lights are there. If they are there, then the light rays can go out from this in cylindrical directions, all the directions. Now to find out the points where the phase of this light emerging from this point are equal is known as the wavefront, which is cylindrical in this case. For this tube light, for a bulb, you can consider it as a point source. Wavefronts are spherical. Here the wavefronts are cylindrical. I hope you are getting the idea.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
These are the points where the phase of the light wave or phase of the light wave is constant. These are all the points. So locus of all the points where the phase of any wave is constant is known as wavefront. So for same wave, you have one same phase, you have one wavefront. For different phase, but still same phase, you have another wavefront. So this here the value of phase is different, but still on the whole sphere you have seen similar value of phase. May it be here the value of phase is phi1, here the value of phase is phi2, the value of phase is phi3, but still you have different positions where you have different kind of wavefronts. Okay, so the basic idea of wavefront is like this. It is a locus. Locus means the set of points. So it is locus of all the points where the phase of light, phase of any wave is constant. So for a sinusoidal wave that we were talking about it. So here, how do we measure the phase? We measure the phase by this distance. If this is here, the phase here is pi, sorry. The phase here is pi, the phase here is 2 pi. So this is how we measure phase. So for a constant phase, if this wave is constantly traveling, then for this phase pi, if a plane perpendicular to this is always going with the pi, this point, so a plane perpendicular to it contains only a single point, which is this pi point. So it is also traveling with a wave. So eventually you can call this a plane wave because its wavefront is a plane, a single plane. So you can consider cos as a plane wave, you can consider sine as a plane wave, or in a more mathematically better equipped manner, you can consider this as a plane wave, e raised to ikx minus omega t. This is also a plane wave, traveling plane wave. What is this? It is cos e raised to I theta means cos theta. I hope you know this. E raised to I theta means cos theta plus I sin theta. So you can take a linear combination of cos and sine and it still is a plane wave. Still you cannot draw this or you cannot visualize this. How will it look like this as I draw this? Because this is a complex number. So you cannot draw this on a graph paper. But still you have to know this, that this is also a plane wave, traveling plane wave. So for any wave which is traveling, it must have the form of kx minus omega t. Only kx will not work. Only omega t will not work. It must have the form any functional dependence on kx minus omega t. For any wave to travel, it must have the functional form kx minus omega t, or you can say x minus vt. So x minus vt or kx minus omega t are the same thing. So any wave to travel, it must have this kind of form, and you can have this as also a plane wave. Sine wave and cosine wave are also plane wave. Okay, so till now the idea is clear of the plane wave.
Yes, sir.
Yes, anybody has any doubts about plane wave, you can ask. You can ask any vague doubts, because today's topic is very small, so I can finish it in 20-50 minutes, 20-25 minutes. Any questions? Because these are the basics which you must know because. Okay, any doubts? Waiting for 5 seconds.
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
Okay, so let's move. So for a non-conducting media, sigma is very small conductivity, and for plane wave, the wavefront is plane. So the wave whose wavefront is plane is known as plane wave, and we also saw other kind of wavefronts. So different kind of wavefronts we also saw. For this, you can refer to your 12th standard physics textbook. You can get a much more idea about that from there. It is there, so you can get it from there. So there you have you will have the idea from there. So now, okay, so now let's talk about this. So it can be shown that the fields generated by the moving charge can leave the source and travel through the space in forms of waves. So this is what you are doing in your electrodynamics too. This is the purpose of your electrodynamics too. So I'm not going into detail, but let me just tell you that any moving charge will generate some electromagnetic field, and that electromagnetic field will leave the charge or leave the source, and it will travel through the space in form of waves. This is known as electromagnetic waves. This is known as electromagnetic waves. So any moving charge, any moving charge, so if an electron is there and if it is moving, then it is generating wave. And you are learning that in your electrodynamics, that if electron is accelerating in this direction, its wave intensity will be much more in these directions. So here these are the lobes where you have the high intensity, and then electron is moving. You are studying this, right? You are studying these kind of figures in electrodynamics too. So if an electron is moving simply, if electron is moving with constant velocity, if it is accelerated, then its intensity distribution is like this. What do we mean by intensity distribution? Like this, it means that intensity is maximum in this at this angle phi. Otherwise, there is no intensity of light emitted at this angle. So you can have any moving charge will generate some, any stationary charge also will generate the field, but any moving charge will generate the field, and that field can also leave this charge and travel through the space. So that is known as electromagnetic waves, travel through the space in form of waves. That is known as electromagnetic waves. Okay, so you are doing this whole exercise in electrodynamics. If electron is moving with constant velocity, the intensity distribution was like this shape. You have studied these kind of shapes in your electrodynamics too, probably. If electron is traveling with constant velocity, then these are the directions in which it will, or if it is oscillating charge in this direction, if the charge is oscillating in this direction, then it will have the intensity distribution in this direction. But you guys are studying this in ND2, but even if you don't know this, you must know this statement. You just believe me for it, that fields generated by any moving charge can leave the source and travel through the space in form of waves. You just believe me for it. Okay, so it is not connected to ED2, not in any way connected to ED2. So even if you don't know anything about ED2, you will still be able to learn this lecture. Okay, so it can be shown that these fields are generated by moving charge can leave the source and travel through space. For simplicity, let us assume that we have a linear medium. For simplicity, let us assume that we have a linear medium. What do we mean by linear medium? Anybody has any idea? Okay, the linear medium is the one which has these two guys parallel. So magnetic field intensity H is parallel to B and D is parallel to E is known as linear medium. Where these relations are satisfied, it is known as linear medium. Or if these relations are satisfied only if epsilon and mu are constants. They are scalar numbers. They are not tensors. Actually, these guys are tensors, so they can be represented as matrix in more mathematical sense. But since it is not in your syllabus, So we can say that in linear medium, these displacement vector, electric displacement vector, this D is what? D is epsilon 0 E. So electric displacement vector and magnetic intensity, magnetic field intensity, which is B by mu 0, are actually parallel to each other. Are actually parallel to each other. So this is what it is. Okay. Now, uh, in your exam, if I have to show you vectors, I'll write them in bold. I will not put these vector signs, but I'll write them in bold maybe, or I'll put the vector signs. I don't know. So these two guys, D and H, you know these guys just a little bit, and they are parallel to corresponding electric field and magnetic field. That means if they are parallel in some medium, if D is parallel in some medium, if D is parallel to E and H is parallel to B, that medium is called linear medium. And in that medium, epsilon and mu have to be constant or scalar numbers, and sigma is also a constant number. The sigma is also a constant number. Okay. Now, what am I doing here? I am trying to prove this statement that fields generated by the moving charge can leave the source and travel through space. I'm trying to prove this line here. Okay, so I'm trying to prove, I'm trying to see okay, which kind of waves are going to propagate. Okay, I'm trying to see that mathematically. So in linear medium, we can write Faraday's law, curl of E equal to minus del B by del T. You all are familiar with this law. So now let's take curl on both the sides of this equation. So curl of E equal to negative of curl of del B by del T. And we have done this exercise quite a few times. We have done this exercise quite a few times. This can be written as, you know this triple scalar product, A cross B cross C. You can write it like this, B into A dot C minus C into A dot B. You can write it like this. Okay, so since here del is an operator, you have to operate it on this vector always. So try to operate it on vector. So this middle vector, grad is always positive. Here you can have divergence of E. So B middle vector is always positive. You can have gradient of divergence of E minus the last vector E into A dot B. But since A dot B will be a scalar operator, it is del dot del, which is del square. You have to write it on the left hand side to operate it on the E. So this can be written like this, and the right side B can be written B. So curl we have taken inside, and we have written H. We have used this relation H equal to B by mu. So if you take mu this side, then B can be written as mu H. So here curl and del by del T commutes. So this nebula and del by del T commutes. So we have interchanged their position, and we have taken curl of H and taken mu out, because we have written in place of mu a B mu H. So till this point, any problem in mathematics? Simple mathematics.
No.
Okay. Okay. So this curl of H, we know from the fourth law of Maxwell's equation, that it is J plus del D by del T. So we have written it like this. This part we have expressed in these terms. Now let us again do some mathematics. So this divergence of E, okay, on this side, I have written J equal to sigma E. I have written J equal to sigma E and D equal to epsilon E. So in medium, in free space, we have epsilon 0 and mu 0, but in medium, we have the medium's permittivity and medium's permeability, epsilon and mu. So we are talking about some medium, which is a linear medium. So in that medium, the value of permittivity is epsilon, permeability is mu. So we are writing that, and in here in this equation, instead of J, we are writing sigma E, and instead of D, we are writing epsilon E. Okay. So instead of this, we are writing epsilon E. So here, if you put this instead of J, you are putting sigma E. Sigma is constant, you can take it out, and minus mu del square by mu into epsilon, you can take it out, and del square E by del T square. And in this side, this divergence of E from the Gauss's law, you know that it is rho by epsilon. It is rho by epsilon, and this del square E, let's keep it as it is. So this is rho by epsilon, this is del square E. This is the complete equation. Now, फॉर अ चार्ज फ्री रीजन, जैसे कि हमारे आसपास की हवा है, ये मैं जिस कमरे में बैठा हूं, इट इज चार्ज फ्री रीजन. इस हवा में कोई फ्री चार्ज नहीं है जिससे आप रोड निकाल सको. आप कोई भी यूनिट वॉल्यूम लोगे, नेट चार्ज विल बी जीरो इन दिस रूम. सो चार्ज फ्री रीजन मीन्स हमारी हवा जो सन से अर्थ तक का पूरा पाथ है, जो वैक्यूम है, दे आर चार्ज फ्री रीजन, देयर इज नो चार्ज देयर. So sun से अर्थ तक जो रे आ रही है उसका वैक्यूम है. They are all charge free region. Okay, so for charge free region we get rho equal to 0, and we can put this term equal to 0. So negative del square E, you can take it this side, so it becomes positive del square E minus mu sigma del E by del T minus mu sigma del square E by del T square. It is equal to 0. Now this is the differential equation which tells you how E will look like in linear media with properties epsilon, mu and sigma. This equation tells you, because you solved this equation using a Maxwell's equation, you used two Maxwell's equation here. One Maxwell equation is curl of E equal to this, and second Maxwell equation is here. So you use Maxwell equation number 3 and 4 to reach to this conclusion of electric field. So this equation will tell you everything about electric field. This equation looks like electric field, how electric field will travel in the linear media, or if it will travel or not. So this is the point. Whether electric field will travel or it will not travel, this is what this equation will tell. So let's assume that electric field, this equation has this kind of solution. It has oscillatory solution. So we are assuming that in this medium, the solution, because this is a differential equation, we are trying to solve this differential equation, but we are trying to solve this equation by assuming that its solution is oscillatory. What do I mean by oscillatory? Wherever you see this term, e raised to I omega t, or e raised to minus I omega t, or you see sine omega t, or you see cos omega t, these are oscillatory terms. So they mean that something is oscillating. So we are assuming that electric field has oscillatory solutions. We are just separating it into two parts. One is representing the electric field at different distances, and this guy is telling you that at every distance the electric field is oscillating. So we are assuming that electric field has an oscillatory solution in this linear media. If this is the oscillatory solution, we are assuming it. So let's try and put it in this expression just to see what happens. So if electric field is really oscillatory in this media, then this solution will satisfy this equation. Otherwise, it will not satisfy this equation. We are going to check that. So ER, e raised to minus omega t. So we are first finding this number. Del E by del T using this. So del E by del T you can calculate. Del square E by del T square you can calculate. So del E by del T is minus I omega ER T. So you can see this, why I wrote this, right? Because if you do the time derivative of this del by del T of E R e raised to minus I omega t, then it will be, this term is constant 4 times, so you can take it out. This is partial derivative. So जहां जहां time दिखे वहीं derivative करना है, जहां position दिखे वहां derivative नहीं करना. So this is a partial derivative. You are doing it del E by del T. So you can take E R outside, and then doing time derivative of this part will give you minus I omega as it is, e raised to minus I omega t. E raised to x is e raised to x, and this change. And then you can write this whole term, this into this as this ERT. So we have written that minus I omega into ERT. Now, if you again differentiate it with respect to time, then minus I omega term will appear again. So it is minus I omega square ERT. And minus I omega square will give you minus 1 square is positive 1, I square is minus 1. So it will be minus I omega. Here it is, I think, typing error. So it has to be minus omega square. I have to see this. Just a second. This has to be minus I omega. Again, minus I omega. So it has to be minus omega square. I'm sorry. This has to be minus omega square. Just correct this in whenever I give you the transparency. Just correct this. This has to be minus omega square, because minus 1 square is plus 1 and I square is minus 1. So it is minus omega square in RT. So this has to be minus. Okay. So now these are two guys, one first guy and the other guy. These are two guys. One is first derivative of in time, other is the second derivative in time. We got the approximated values for both of these guys. Now let us compare their relative magnitudes. Okay, so how are we comparing their relative magnitudes? Let us see this. So let us compare the relative magnitudes of the this term and this term. So just as we did in the case of j by del d by del t, we compared there the relative magnitude. So j by del d by del t was the comparison of relative magnitude. Here we are comparing this mu sigma del e by del t upon mu epsilon del square e by del t square. Just to know कि भाई कौन सा टर्म बड़ा होगा. अगर कोई टर्म बहुत ही बड़ा है तो दूसरे को निग्लेक्ट कर सकते हो. इफ दिस टर्म इज वेरी बिग यू कैन निग्लेक्ट दिस टर्म. बस वो चेक करने के लिए कि भाई कौन सा टर्म बहुत बड़ा है. वी आर टेकिंग रिलेटिव मैग्नीट्यूड. अब mu sigma del e by del t, instead of del e by del t you have to write this. But since it is a mod I becomes 1 and minus 1 का mod भी plus 1 बन जाता है, तो it is mu sigma omega e. It has to be mu sigma omega e. और नीचे this mu epsilon is still there and this is minus omega square, but since minus का mod plus हो जाता है तो mu sigma omega square e. You can cancel e with e, so eventually mu with mu, so it becomes sigma omega upon epsilon omega square, so it becomes sigma upon epsilon omega. वो आपका आंसर है, सिग्मा अपॉन एप्सिलॉन ओमेगा. और अब आप इधर एक चीज और डिफाइन कर सकते हो. यू कैन डू दिस सिग्मा एप्सिलॉन अपॉन सिग्मा. यू कैन डिफाइन इट एज टाउ. जस्ट वी आर सेइंग दिस अ न्यू क्वांटिटी, दिस सिग्मा epsilon upon sigma. We are just telling it a new quantity. It does not mean a lot more things, but we are just using a new quantity. Epsilon upon sigma is tau. We will call it relaxation time. Okay, so epsilon upon sigma is tau. We are just calling it tau. Otherwise, you can do this calculation from this part also, from this part only, but we are just writing two more steps. So epsilon upon sigma is tau. So epsilon upon sigma, you can take the sigma on the denominator, so it becomes tau. And that's how you can keep as omega equal to 2 pi by t, where t is the time period. Tau is known as relaxation time. Tau is known as relaxation time, and t, capital T, is the time period of the oscillation. तो ये जो oscillation हम मान रहे हैं कि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड ऑसिलेटरी होगा कहीं और मीडियम में, मतलब एक्चुअल में चार्ज कहीं और घूम रहा है. एक्चुअल में चार्ज कहीं और घूम रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई वी यूज दिस इक्वेशन, कर्ल ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इक्वल टू माइनस डेल बी बाय डेल टी. तो चार्ज कहीं और घूम रहा है, तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इज चेंजिंग समवेयर. ओके, सो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इज कर्लिंग एक्चुअली समवेयर. तो चार्ज कहीं और चल रहा है, बट इन द लीनियर मीडिया जहां चार्ज नहीं है, चार्ज कहीं और है, बट जहां चार्ज नहीं है, वी अज्यूम कि वहां पे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का सॉल्यूशन ऐसा ऑसिलेटरी होगा. और अगर ऑसिलेटरी होगा तो वी केम आउट टू वी रीच टू टू इक्वेशंस. और वो दोनों इक्वेशन का रिलेटिव मैग्नीट्यूड हम देखने वाला है कि किसको छोटा मान के निग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, फॉर डिफरेंट मीडियम्स. तो किसको छोटा मान के निग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं वो देखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. वहां पे हमने ये दोनों और सब्स्टिट्यूशन लिए, where tau is known as just relaxation time. We are not going in depth of its physical meaning क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा कुछ खास है नहीं. It is just known as relaxation time. It is just the quantity appearing here. Okay, sigma upon epsilon. It is the quantity appearing here. So t equal to 2 pi by omega, which is the period of oscillation. So eventually you get this result for relative magnitude. मतलब second term अगर बड़ा होगा तो this number t by 2 pi tau will be very very greater than 1. Then the second term or this upper numerator will be larger than the denominator. In case second term is very larger, so you can neglect this term. In other case, you can neglect the other term. If this is very very less than 1, then denominator is very very large, so you can neglect this term. Okay, so in that case, let us check. So if tau is very very less than t, what is tau? Tau is epsilon upon sigma. So if sigma is very large, what do we mean by sigma? Sigma means conductivity of the medium. Conductivity is very very large. Then tau is very very small. And if tau is very very small compared to t, that is for conducting medium. For any conducting medium, conductivity is very large. So tau is very very small than t. So for conducting medium, what will happen? So tau for conducting medium, this number is very very large. So eventually this tau is very very small. So eventually this number t by 2 pi tau is very very greater than 1, because this denominator is smaller, numerator is very big. So let us talk about this. It is something like 15 upon 1. So it is very very greater than 1. Okay, so tau is 1 and t is 15 in this case. And why tau is very small? Because the conductivity of the medium is very high. Okay, so we are taking this case 1. This is the case 1. इस इक्वेशन को हम सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं और हमने इसका रिलेटिव मैग्नीट्यूड देखा कि केस 1 में जो कंडक्टिंग मीडियम है उसमें थर्ड टर्म जो है उसको हम इग्नोर कर सकते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि ये जो रेशियो है दोनों के मैग्नीट्यूड का, वो एक से बहुत ही बड़ा आ रहा है, दैट मीन्स दिस डिनोमिनेटर इज नॉट कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, यही सबसे बड़ा है, ये बहुत ही बड़ा है न्यूमरेटर, सो यू कैन निग्लेक्ट दिस डिनोमिनेटर फ्रॉम दिस इक्वेशन, और इवेंचुअली ये जो इक्वेशन बचेगा वो ऐसा होगा, इवेंचुअली यू कैन निग्लेक्ट दिस पार्ट, सो इक्वेशन ऐसा बनेगा, ऐसा बनेगा. Okay. Have you seen this kind of equation somewhere in your life, in your physics life actually, where you when you studied physics you have seen these kind of equations? You have seen this kind of equation? What is this? Just anybody of you, if you remember, in your physics, you used to study this. Okay, you must have studied this. You might have studied this, or you have studied this equal to E. What is this equation? No, you know this. Okay, you guys are still there, or you have left the meeting? I don't know if I'm talking with myself.
There, sir.
Uh, so just you have seen this kind of equation somewhere in your second year physics.
Yes, sir.
What is this?
Wave function.
Yes, this is a wave function, but this equation is known as Schrodinger's equation.
Yes, sir.
This is Schrodinger's equation. So this equation, just if you see, compare, both of them looks identically same. This is del square and some field, del square and some field, and on the other side, if potential is zero, then other side there is time derivative and field. There is time derivative and field. The coefficients are different, but these two equations are identical. And this equation is known as diffusion equation. So what do we mean by diffusion? कि भाई आपके पास एक pipe है. If you have a pipe, okay, you guys know this diffusion. If you have a pipe of gas molecules B, suppose there are so many gas molecules B. Now you have a spray of gas molecules A from outside, and you bombard those A molecules on inside this pipe of molecules B, and eventually these A molecules will take their place somewhere in between. So there are B molecules as well, there are A molecules as well, so they will eventually diffuse into it. So what is diffusion? You have seen this in your manufacturing process of p-n junction diode. So whenever you are trying to actually manufacture p-n junction diode in your laboratory, how do you manufacture it? You have an n-type material. This is an n-type material. Now you bombard some p-type ions. तो मटेरियल जो पी टाइप होता है उसके कुछ आयंस आप उसको प्लाज्मा स्टेट में बना देते हो, और उस आयंस को आप इस पे बॉम्बार्ड करते हो, तो इवेंचुअली दे विल डिफ्यूज इनटू दिस एन टाइप मटेरियल. तो दे विल डिफ्यूज, हाउ दे विल डिफ्यूज, यहाँ पे सब जगह पी टाइप मटेरियल हो जाएंगे, पी टाइप मटेरियल इन दिस रेंज. इफ यू आर डिफ्यूजिंग दैट मटेरियल, तो ये लोग अंदर घुस जाएंगे इस एन टाइप सरफेस की सपाटी में, सरफेस में अंदर घुस जाएंगे, और वो वहां पे उसे कहेंगे डिफ्यूजन प्रोसेस, और वहां पे वो इक्विलिब्रियम में फिर रहेंगे. And this junction is known as p-n junction. So in any diode you are using, this is how you formulate this p-n junction. You bombard those p-type ions onto this n-type ions, and the diffusion process takes place, and you eventually get this p-n junction diode. So here you connect one end of the one end, and here you connect the other end. So this p-n junction diode. In case of transistor, how will you make it? In case of transistor, if you are making NPN transistor, let's say, so this is p-type material. From both sides you are bombarding n-type material. So here also there is diffusion of n-type material, here also there is diffusion of n-type material, and this whole connection is known as transistor with 3 terminals, of course. Okay, so this is known as diffusion process, and to govern this diffusion process actually in the lab, this is the equation which governs it. This is the mathematical equation which governs this diffusion process. Okay, so this equation is known as diffusion equation. It does not tell you that anything is oscillating. It does not tell you that anything is oscillating. It tells you कि भाई कुछ चीज अंदर जा रही है और वहीं पे रुक रही है. It is getting diffused. ठीक है, कोई चीज, कोई जो मटेरियल की हम बात कर रहे हैं, जो लीनियर मीडिया की हम बात कर रहे हैं, वो लीनियर मीडिया में कोई जो फील्ड है, जो फील्ड है, जिस फील्ड की हम बात कर रहे हैं, कोई भी होगा वो फील्ड, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड हो सकता है, दिस वेव फंक्शन कैन बी देयर, इट द फील्ड कैन बी एनीथिंग। तो जो फील्ड है वो जो भी मटेरियल की हम बात करें, जो लीनियर मीडियम, जो कंडक्टिंग मीडियम की बात करें, उसमें डिफ्यूज हो रहा है। ओके, इट मींस इट इज नॉट रीचिंग टू द नेक्स्ट एंड, वो वहां से बाहर नहीं निकल रहा है, इट इज जस्ट डिफ्यूजिंग देयर, मतलब वो वहीं पे रह रहा है, वो बाहर नहीं निकल पा रहा है, इट्स गेटिंग डिफ्यूज्ड देयर। ठीक है, ये आर वी गेटिंग दिस? व्हाट इज दिस इक्वेशन मैथमेटिकली? इट मींस कि भाई आपके पास एक सरफेस है, जो हम कंडक्टिंग मीडिया, लीनियर मीडिया की बात कर रहे थे, यहां से अगर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड ऑसिलेटरी आया, आया भी चलो, but in conducting media, okay, if there is a charge here which is moving, then its field we assumed कि oscillating field होगा। अब वो oscillating field से हमें ये इक्वेशन मिली। अब इस इक्वेशन में हमने देखा कि अगर कोई मीडियम कंडक्टिंग है तो हम इस टर्म को निग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं, तो जो इक्वेशन बचेगा वो होगा डिफ्यूजन टाइप का इक्वेशन। इसका मतलब कि जो रे यहां से आएगी वो यहाँ इस मटेरियल को क्रॉस ही नहीं कर पाएगी, वहीं डिफ्यूज हो जाएगी, तो इस साइड यू वॉन्ट गेट एनी रे, एनी सिग्नल। सो द this equation is diffusion equation. The electromagnetic field will diffuse inside this material and it won't be able to propagate itself, तो आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएगा, वही diffuse हो जाएगा। This is known as diffused diffusion equation and this is known as diffused electric field for conducting medium। तो जब भी conducting medium होगा इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड डिफ्यूज हो जाता है। दिस इज द रीजन कि आप जब एलिवेटर में बैठे हो, जब लिफ्ट में बैठे हो, तो आपके पास एक मोबाइल फोन है, मोबाइल फोन में सिग्नल्स कैसे आते हैं? दे आर माइक्रोवेव सिग्नल्स। ओके, सो दे आर माइक्रोवेव सिग्नल्स, मतलब उनका जो वेवलेंथ है वो 1 माइक्रोमीटर के रेंज का होता है, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड माइक्रोवेव सिग्नल्स। सो दे आर आल्सो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक सिग्नल्स, बट वो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक सिग्नल्स बाहर से आते हैं, एंड सिंस दिस केस इज कंडक्टिंग, तो कंडक्टिंग मीडियम में जो वो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड था वो डिफ्यूज हो जाता है और यहीं पे रुक जाता है, वो अंदर तक आता ही नहीं। दैट्स व्हाई यू डोंट गेट प्रॉपर सिग्नल्स इनसाइड दिस मेटल एलिवेटर। I hope you guys have experienced this at least once in your life. In metal elevator, you do not get these signals.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the reason actually. This is the, after all these mathematics, we came to the conclusion कि अगर वो medium conducting होगा, then electric field will be diffusing. Electric field won't be able to penetrate through this conducting medium and reach at this part. So it will be diffused there. So that's why mobile phone doesn't work properly in elevators. Still, this is an approximation. We are neglecting this term, but it's still not a zero. We are just neglecting it because this is very large. तो स्टिल थोड़ा सा सिग्नल आ जाता है कई बार मोबाइल का अंदर, ठीक है, बिकॉज इट इज डिफ्यूज। यहाँ पे एम्पलीट्यूड बहुत ही कम हो जाएगा, यहाँ से जो एम्पलीट्यूड हुआ था उससे यहाँ बहुत ही कम हो जाएगा। स्टिल इट कैन वर्क समटाइम्स, बट इफ दिस इज मेड अप ऑफ वेरी वेल कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल, देन यू वॉन्ट गेट एनी सिग्नल, और इसका थिकनेस थोड़ा सा ज्यादा होगा, देन ऑल द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड विल बी डिफ्यूज्ड इन दिस पार्ट ओनली, यू वॉन्ट गेट एनी सिग्नल्स। ठीक है, तो पुरानी लिफ्ट में बिल्कुल सिग्नल नहीं मिलते थे, अब नई लिफ्ट है उसमें थोड़े बहुत मिल जाते हैं, तो नई लिफ्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन होती है थोड़े बहुत मिल जाते हैं। तो दिस इज द पार्ट। Okay, what we did till this point, we started from, okay, let me recap everything. What we did, we started with the understanding of plane wave in non-conducting media. We wanted to prove that we know that this happens from ED2. We know that any moving charge generates electric field which leaves the charge and travels through the space in form of wave. So we know this from ED2, but still if you don't know this, you believed in me that this is correct. Now we just did some mathematics for a linear medium कि एक linear medium होगा उसमें इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड कैसे प्रोपागेट करेगा। एक मूविंग चार्ज है, वो उसमें से फील्ड निकल तो रहा है और वो ट्रैवल भी कर रहा है वेव के फॉर्म में, बट वो कैसा वेव होगा वो चेक करने के लिए वी जस्ट फाउंड आउट अवर मैक्सवेल्स इक्वेशन कि वो वेव कैसा होगा। मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन के कर लिए, सॉल्व किया, मैथमेटिक्स। वी अज्यूम्ड कि वो सॉल्यूशन ऑसिलेटरी होगा, क्योंकि वेव ऑसिलेटरी होता है, तो वी अज्यूम कि वो मीडियम में जो वेव का इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जिस तरह से प्रोपागेट कर रहा होगा इट विल बी ऑसिलेटरी। हमने अज्यूम किया ऐसा, क्योंकि हम वेव के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं, तो हमने अज्यूम किया एंड इवेंचुअली फाउंड आउट कि अगर ये तो सही है, ये हो सकता है, बट नाउ वी कंपेयर्ड द रिलेटिव मैग्नीट्यूड्स, और उस केस में अगर ये पूरा लीनियर मीडिया जो था वो अगर कंडक्टिंग मीडिया है, देन दिस इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, if that linear media is conducting media, then this electric field eventually will be, क्या होगा उस इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का, will be diffused, or eventually on the other end you will not get any electric field or any kind of wave behavior, all you get is diffusion behavior। तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड वहीं पे खत्म हो जाएगा। जैसे ये आप ट्रांजिस्टर बनाते थे तो पी टाइप आयंस आप इस पे बॉम्बार्ड करते थे, पर वो यहाँ तक नहीं पहुंच रहे थे, वो इसी रेंज में खत्म हो जाते थे, दे आर डिफ्यूज देयर ओनली। इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी पूरा क्रॉस नहीं कर पाएगा, इट विल बी डिफ्यूज, इट विल नॉट बी ऑसिलेटरी, इट विल नो मोर बी ऑसिलेटरी, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड विल नो मोर बी ऑसिलेटरी। But now let's take case 2. This was case 1. Now let's take case 2, in which the medium is non-conducting, and non-conducting medium sigma is very small, or you can consider sigma as 0. And if sigma is 0, tau is epsilon upon sigma. So if sigma is very small, tau is very large. Tau is very large, t upon 2 pi tau is very small. T upon 2 pi tau is very small. Then this term is very small compared to this term, so you can neglect this term, and now what you are going to get is this equation. You have neglected the second term, and now what you are going to get is this equation, and this equation looks exactly like a wave equation. So for any wave, in your class 12 you studied this. So del square y upon del x square equal to del square y upon del x square equal to 1 upon v square del square y upon del t square. This equation is known as wave equation. You have studied this in your 12th standard. ठीक है, इसमें v जो है वो वेव का वेलोसिटी है, एंड y इज द डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ द वेव एट डिफरेंट x एंड डिफरेंट t. तो y जो है वो फंक्शन ऑफ x एंड t है, एंड दिस इज अ वेव इक्वेशन. अब यहाँ पे एक डायमेंशन में से 3 डायमेंशन में आ गए हम, तो del square by del x square plus del square by del y square plus del square by del z square is known as this grade square, and del by del t square is still there. Still this term is there which represents 1 by velocity square. So this equation exactly looks like wave equation. So in non-conducting media, अगर आप मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन को सॉल्व करते जाओगे तो the wave will propagate. This equation looks like the equation of propagating wave, which is propagating with this much velocity. Okay, so this equation looks like this. Now let us try to solve the same thing using for H. So this is the wave equation for E. Now let us try to solve this same thing for H. So from the fourth Maxwell's equation, you can write it this. Now let's take curl on both sides. So curl of H, and then curl of J plus dt. Now this J plus dt you can write as sigma E, and D you can write as epsilon E. Now this curl you have taken inside with curl of E, and this is also curl of E. Now curl of E at both the places. Curl of E, what is curl of E from Faraday's law? Is minus del B by del T. So you placed in both of the places curl of E is minus del B by del T minus del B by del T. This you expanded in terms of this vector identity. Here you did the same mathematics. It is identically symmetric mathematics, but the result, we are interested in the result. Identical mathematics. So eventually it also led us to the same equation. This, you can take this del square H on the other side. So eventually it also led us to the exactly same equation which was for electric field. And eventually here also you can obtain for non-conducting media, you can neglect this term because sigma is very small for non-conducting medium, so you can neglect this term, only this term will remain. So for non-conducting medium we obtain these two equations which are exactly the type of wave equations, and where v is the velocity of propagation. This is the wave equation in 3 dimension. I wrote the wave equation in 1 dimension. This is the wave equation in 3 dimension, and where v is known as here in electromagnetic wave case. So these two are waves of electric field and magnetic field. They are also traveling wave, so they are propagating wave type. They are having propagating wave type of equations. And here the velocity of the wave is, you can say, you can just compare these two guys. Tell me what is the velocity of electromagnetic wave. Compare both of these. Just tell me.
For,
How much?
sir, for vacuum, electromagnetic wave has a constant c, sir.
Yes, but now I just want you to compare these two guys and tell me what is the velocity, because for any general propagating wave, this is the velocity. But for electromagnetic wave, which means electric field is also propagating and magnetic field is also propagating, if you compare these two guys, you get something for the velocity. Just compare both of these guys, and so what am I telling is this term is same in both of these. This term is same in both of
1
these.
by
So,
mu e, 1 by mu into epsilon.
yes, v equal to 1 by under root mu into epsilon.
Yeah.
Right? Am I correct? Anybody have any
Yes, sir.
problems
Yes,
on
sir.
this point? Mathematics? Anybody else? Yes. Anybody else who has any problem in this? Okay, so V is 1 by mu epsilon. Now for free space, so this is the velocity of electromagnetic wave in space with some value of mu and some value of epsilon. So you can have any value of epsilon. You know this epsilon is also known as dielectric constant. Also, this epsilon is not dielectric constant. Relative permittivity is dielectric constant. So this epsilon is permittivity of the medium, and this mu is known as permeability of that particular medium. That medium can be any non-conducting medium, may it be plastic, may it be wood or anything. Okay, so that medium is any non-conducting medium. But epsilon is known as the permittivity of the medium, and what you can write is at relative permittivity, which is epsilon by epsilon 0, is known as K, is known as dielectric constant. This is from your 12th standard. So I might give you the value of dielectric constant in the exam, I might give you the value of mu in the exam, and eventually will tell you that in this medium with this much dielectric constant and this mu, calculate the speed of electromagnetic wave. So these kind of questions can be asked, or I can give you directly the value of epsilon, whatever. Okay, so these are the things that you are supposed to know. But still, somebody of you told that, what is your name, who told that speed of light in vacuum is constant? What is your name?
Sir Anand.
Anand, yes. So Anand told us that speed of light is same in vacuum. So what are the values of epsilon and mu in vacuum? Can anybody tell me? For vacuum, mu is equal to mu naught, which is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 SI units, and epsilon is equal to epsilon naught, which is equal to 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 11 SI unit. And if you multiply both of these guys, then you get and just take square root and invert that square root, then you get mu naught epsilon naught, which is exactly equal to C. Just do that in your calculator. Try doing that in your calculator. तो जो vacuum में speed of light है वो यहीं से आ रही है. So it is coming from this part. So the speed of light in vacuum is coming from this. This is exactly equal to this number, meter per second. This number is exactly equal to this number. Okay, so you can do that calculation. So in electromagnetic case, the speed of light is 1 upon under root epsilon mu, or in case of vacuum, it is 1 upon under root mu naught epsilon naught. So here also there is a typing error, and there minus omega square was also a typing error. So you just correct both of these typing errors on your own. Okay. So this is the velocity in case of vacuum. It is known as C. The speed of light is known as C. So with this, we are ending this lecture. But अभी हमने ये सारी बात करी, ये हम आपको क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं उस पर बात करते हैं. Okay, so till now, if you have any doubts, this was the mathematics. This is the official ending of the class. But now we are going to go into depth why you guys are studying. Any doubts till this point?
No, sir.
Okay, how many students are still there? Okay, 7. Oh, so 5 are still there. Okay, so yes, so this was the end of the class mathematics and physics. अब आप लोग ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? आप लोग ये इसलिए पढ़ रहे हो because as an electronic students, you guys are also learning about fiber optics. Fiber optics is the new age technology. It is the most wonderful technology you can have, because it gives you so much fast data speed, because now the data travels from one point to other with the speed of light. So with the fiber optics, you can send the data to the other end with the speed of light. This is a wonderful technology. And to know more about fiber optics, तो fiber optics कैसे बना है? There is a कोर मटेरियल जो होता है वो जनरली सिलिका का बना होता है. ठीक है, सिलिका मतलब जो कांच का मटेरियल होता है ना, जो सिलिका SiO2 क्वार्ट्स जिसे बोलते हैं, जो कांच जिससे बनता है, नॉर्मल ग्लास हमारा बनता है, उसी टाइप के मटेरियल से बना होता है जो कोर है फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स का. जिसमें से आप एक्चुअल में लाइट पास करते हो। उसका क्लैडिंग जो है वो रबर का वगैरह मटेरियल का बना होता है, बट द कोर इज मेड अप ऑफ ग्लास। सो कोर इज मेड अप ऑफ ग्लास विच इज नॉन कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल। तो अगर आपको पता होगा कि नॉन कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड एंड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड विच मीन्स द लाइट और द इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव कैसे ट्रैवल करते हैं, सो आप जान पाओगे कि फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स में ये कैसे ट्रैवल करते हैं, बिकॉज इट इज अ नॉन कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल। और अगर आप वो जान पाए तो आप ये जान पाओगे कि फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स का फिर एफिशिएंसी कैसे बढ़ाया जाए। बिकॉज फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स में भी ऐसा नहीं होता कि वो फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स का कंसेप्ट आई थिंक आप सबको पता होगा। यहाँ से आपने लाइट फेंका तो टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन होता है, लाइट दूसरे एंड पे टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्ट करता है और चलता जाता है। बट आइडियली दिस इज नॉट द केस। केस क्या है कि 1 किलोमीटर के फाइबर के बाद आपको एक एक एम्पलीफायर रखना पड़ता है जो अगेन इस लाइट के मैग्नीट्यूड को एम्पलीफाई करता है, लाइट के एम्पलीट्यूड को एम्पलीफाई करता है। ठीक है, बिकॉज दिस लाइट्स पावर हैज डिमिनिश्ड। जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव आपने यहाँ से सेंड करी थी 1 किलोमीटर बाद, वो नहीं चलती, वो लाइट का पावर काफी डिम हो जाता है। तो फॉर एट एवरी 1 किलोमीटर और 2 किलोमीटर यू हैव टू कीप एम्पलीफायर्स टू जस्ट एम्पलीफाई दैट लाइट। और वही आपने रोड पे देखा है। अगर रोड पे आपने वायर्स देखे हो, रोड पे आपने अगर फाइबर ऑप्टिक केबल देखे हो तो एक वायर है, उसमें ऐसा एक बैग जैसा लटका होता है ब्लैक कलर का। रोड पे ब्लैक कलर का बैग होता है एंड देन वायर अगेन गोज आउट। सो दिस बैग हैज द एम्पलीफायर इन इट। दिस बैग हैज द एम्पलीफायर फॉर लाइट। देखा है क्या ऐसा ब्लैक बैग रोड पे कभी?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो ये बैग है वो फाइबर ऑप्टिक केबल का एम्पलीफायर है, उसके लाइट को एम्पलीफाई करता है, देन इट अगेन सेंड्स इट फॉरवर्ड। तो ऐसे रिपीटर, इसको रिपीटर बोलते हैं। रिपीटर आपको हर 2-3 किलोमीटर में लगाने पड़ते हैं। इफ यू आर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्टूडेंट एंड इफ यू नो अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, then you can make this technology better for us in tomorrow, in the future. Okay, so you can make this technology better। अगर आपको पता है कि नॉन कंडक्टिंग वेव में ये कैसे ट्रैवल करता है, यू माइट, अब आपको पता ये भी चल सकता है कि इसमें किसमें वेलोसिटी ज्यादा होता है, किसमें लॉस ज्यादा होता है। बिकॉज आइडियली देयर आर 3 टर्म्स। Ideally in this equation there are 3 terms। We are talking about non-conducting media, so let me go to that actual equation. Okay, it was there also on the last slide. Yes, so ideally there are 3 terms in this equation. We are neglecting this term, but it is not exactly zero, because each and every material has some conductivity, however small, but has some conductivity। तो आप ऐसा मटेरियल चूज करो जिसका कंडक्टिविटी प्रॉपर हो, आप ऐसा मटेरियल चूज करो जिसका म्यू एंड एप्सिलॉन प्रॉपर हो, सो दैट दिस टर्म डोमिनेट्स मोर और दिस टर्म डोमिनेट्स लेस। बिकॉज जो लॉस हो रहा है वो इस टर्म की वजह से हो रहा है, बिकॉज ऑफ डिफ्यूजन। तो जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव पास हो रही है, जिसमें इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड दोनों ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, उसमें लॉस हो रहा है वो इस टर्म की वजह से हो रहा है। तो आप ऐसे मटेरियल्स चूज करो जिससे सिग्मा कम हो पाए, आप ऐसे मटेरियल चूज करो जिससे म्यू एप्सिलॉन का प्रोडक्ट बढ़ पाए। तो इवेंचुअली दिस टर्म विल गिव यू लाइट प्रोपागेटिंग टू अ लार्जर डिस्टेंस। तो रिपीटर का सेपरेशन आपको काफी कम करना पड़ेगा। so you can do that। another part so this is one range जहां आप जिसको पढ़ भी रहे हैं और जिसको आप समझ भी रहे हैं। so this is one range जहां आपको इसका बहुत काम आने वाला है। so if you know this mathematics better, there is a lot more mathematics that you are also studying in electrodynamics too, जो आपको और काम आ सकता है in future। okay, so there is a lot more in electrodynamics too। you are studying some very high level mathematics, I know that। पर वो मैथमेटिक्स के बाद जो फिजिक्स मिल रहा है वो आपको पता होना चाहिए हर एक पॉइंट पे। ठीक है, ट्राई टू क्वेश्चन इट। तो वो जो मैथमेटिक्स है, तो हम अपने कोर्स की बात करते हैं। इन दिस यूनिट दिस इन दिस यूनिट व्हाट आर वी हैविंग इज हम ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं। तो पहला पॉइंट है फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स के लिए। इफ यू नो दीज इक्वेशंस, इफ यू नो हाउ टू सॉल्व देम, इफ यू नो विच मटेरियल टू चूज, यू कैन मेक दिस फाइबर ऑप्टिक कम्युनिकेशन बेटर। और वो बेटर बनेगा तो नेट की स्पीड जो आज हाईली, मतलब वाईफाई नेट की स्पीड जो हाईली, मतलब 100 एमबीपीएस आती है, सॉरी नॉट मीटर पर सेकंड बट एमबीपीएस आती है, it can be raised to 1000 mbps, 5000 mbps। the net internet speed can be raised to those points in our household chorus। मतलब अपने घर में ही आप ये नेट की स्पीड ला सकते हो if you know about these things। and the this is the job for you guys। मतलब आप ही का काम है ये। this is not the job for physics students because they are more interested in the fundamentals, they are interested in this mathematics। but you are the guys who will understand this mathematics and eventually apply it in the field, in the industry। so you are those guys who will apply it। ये तो पहला तरीका था फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स। दूसरा तरीका रेडियो कम्युनिकेशन। So radio antennas are very famous. So what is radio antenna? It uses radio wave. What is a radio wave? They are also electromagnetic wave with wavelength of the order of 1 meter or some more meters. तो रेडियो एंटेना में आप लोगों में से बहुत लोगों को पता होगा रेडियो एंटेना के बारे में. इट लुक्स लाइक दिस. This is the radio antenna and you are studying something about radio communication and all. तो ये रेडियो कम्युनिकेशन कैसे होता है इसको समझने के लिए आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि ये रेडियो कम्युनिकेशन होता है फ्री स्पेस में, मतलब हमारी एयर में. तो एयर का सिग्मा कितना है, यू नो दिस. एयर का म्यू कितना है, एप्सिलॉन कितना है. अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन डिजाइन योर एंटेना इन सच अ वे कि यू कैन गेट द मोस्ट आउट ऑफ दिस transmissions and receiving. So in transmission and receiver, you can design those transmission and receiver in proper manner by understanding these factors. क्योंकि ultimately तो ये रेडियो एंटेना इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव पे ही काम करते हैं, which are being governed by these equations. तो जो एक्चुअल इक्वेशन है वो यही है, ठीक है. जो ये नीचे वाला इक्वेशन है उसी पे सब कुछ गवर्न हो रहा है. तो आप ये भी कर सकते हो. यू कैन डू सम रेडियो, यू कैन वर्क इन सम गुड रेडियो एंटेनास एज वेल. नाउ देयर आर फ्यू मोर एक्साइटिंग फील्ड्स, जैसे कि जो मार्स ऑर्बिटर मिशन है, ठीक है. जो मार्स ऑर्बिटर मिशन है या चंद्रयान है, वो सब अपने इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ तक कैसे भेजते हैं, वो भी अपने इंफॉर्मेशन रेडियो वेव्स के थ्रू भेजते हैं, ठीक है. वहां से जो एक बार चंद्रयान चला गया यहाँ से, तो वो थोड़ी फोन अंदर कोई बंदा थोड़ी बैठा जो फोन करके बोलेगा. दे आर सेंडिंग देयर इंफॉर्मेशन यूजिंग द रेडियो वेव्स. तो वो रेडियो वेव्स भी इस ऑर्डर के हैं. वो रेडियो वेव्स वैक्यूम से ट्रैवल करके अर्थ में आते हैं और अचानक से उनका मीडियम भी चेंज होता है. मतलब फ्रॉम वैक्यूम टू अर्थ, जहाँ पे सिग्मा कुछ है, वैक्यूम में सिग्मा 0 है, वहां से कुछ है, तो ट्रांजिशन भी होता है. वो ट्रांजिशन में भी रेडियो वेव्स में से कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन लॉस्ट ना हो जाए, वो चेक करना भी आपका काम है. So in these big projects as well, you must be equipped with this much mathematics. क्योंकि अगर आपको ये समझ आया होगा तो आपको ये पता होगा कि कौन से पैरामीटर पे ये एम्पलीट्यूड्स डिपेंड करते हैं. And eventually you can take those parameters into consideration while designing your antennas. तो आपको proper information मिल सकती है, proper time पे information मिल सकती है. And this is why these are the few I just gave you few glimpses कि भाई आप ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हो. These are only few glimpses कि आप ये सब क्यों पढ़ रहे हो, ठीक है. तो दीज आर फ्यू रीजंस कि आप इलेक्ट्रोडायनेमिक्स, वो भी इतना मैथमेटिकल, ये तो फिर भी कम मैथमेटिकल है, इलेक्ट्रोडायनेमिक्स 2 इज हाईली मैथमेटिकल. तो वो आप क्यों पढ़ रहे हो, क्योंकि वो आपको ज्यादा डेप्थ में अंडरस्टैंडिंग दे रहा है कि भाई इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स बनते कैसे. ये तो हमने मैथमेटिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिया, वहां पे मैथमेटिक्स के साथ साथ फिजिक्स है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन को अगर आप कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी से चलाओगे तो कैसा फील्ड बनेगा, कांस्टेंट एक्सेलरेशन से चलाओगे तो कैसा फील्ड मिलेगा, अगर उसको ऑसिलेट कराओगे तो कैसा फील्ड मिलेगा, दो इलेक्ट्रॉन को साथ में मिलकर ऑसिलेट कराओगे जिसे डाइपोल ऑसिलेशन कहते हैं, तो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन और एक प्रोटॉन को साथ में मिलकर ऑसिलेट कराओगे डाइपोल ऑसिलेशन, तो कैसा फील्ड मिलेगा. ठीक है, आप 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन को एक साथ मिलकर ऑसिलेट कराओगे, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, एक प्रोटॉन या पॉजिट्रॉन, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड एक पॉजिट्रॉन, तो इन चारों को मिला के अगर आप ऑसिलेट कराओगे, इसे कहते हैं क्वाड्रुपोल, इसको ऑसिलेट कराओगे सिस्टम को, तो आपको कैसा फील्ड मिलेगा क्वाड्रुपोल. ये सब आप वहां मैथमेटिकली स्टडी कर रहे हो, ठीक है. और ये सब क्यों कर रहे हो, बिकॉज इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स आर द इंटीग्रेटेड पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ, दे आर गोइंग टू बी इंटीग्रेटेड पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ, कि आगे जाके आप जो भी पढ़ने वाले हो वो इसी फील्ड के आसपास रिवॉल्व होने वाला है, ठीक है. एंड अनदर थिंग इज करंट. तो करंट भी कहां से आ रहा है, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. तो द two things which you are going to be considered the most about, one is current because you are electronic student. Current is nothing but due to electric field, so there you have to study electric field. And in these kind of modern research works you have to study this electrodynamics. That's why you are studying electrodynamics as an electronic student. If you are physics student, I would give you some different perspectives, but since you are an electronic student, you are studying it because these parts. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. Till this is the syllabus of your CI2. So I hope you got this mathematics. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.